Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a 1-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
In 2005, two brothers hit the road to fight monsters. That road has led them to fighting demons, angels, and saving the world.
It's a journey that is taking them to heaven, hell, and back. But they aren't done.
Join our journey as we go episode by episode, following the adventures of Sam and Dean Winchester. We break each episode down with the writers, producers, directors, crew, and actors to bring you the behind-the-scenes stories of how this legendary TV series was made. That guy right there, that's Rob Benedict. He played God and Chuck Shirley.
Hey, and that guy there, that's Richard Spade Jr. He played Gabriel, Loki, and the Trickster. And P.S., he directed a bunch of episodes, too.
Now, while we are insiders, we're also outsiders, because we're not experts. This is our first time watching the entire series, all 327 episodes.
Rich and I have met many of the fans at conventions around the world, and we are deepening our understanding of why you all love this series so much. Because it's really good.
Yeah, it is. Now, listen. There will be spoilers, so consider yourself warned.
And thank you for joining us on this trip we call Supernatural Then and Now. Well, hi there. This is Rob Benedict.
I'm Richard Spate.
And thanks for listening.
You're real perky today, Rob. What's going on?
I don't know. It's just beginning of the episode voice.
Ah, nice. I like it.
This is a very special episode. It's a spotlight episode.
That's not to say the other ones are not special. I don't want any of the other episodes who might be listening to think that they're not special. You are also a special episode.
As always, I stand corrected. Yes, what Rich said. But every so often we break format by not covering a specific episode, but we shine a spotlight on a specific topic or person.
Are we doing that today, Robert?
Yes, today that's exactly what we're doing. We're shining a spotlight on Cindy Sampson, who played Lisa Braeden on the show Supernatural, coincidentally.
Shocking. Boy, if we shine a spotlight on somebody who's not from Supernatural, we really need to realign the focus of our spotlight.
Right, or get a smaller spotlight.
Spotlight on Cindy Sampson. That's great alliteration.
Yeah, spotlight on Cindy Sampson. We're very excited to have Cindy with us today. I had the pleasure of spending time with her earlier this year at a convention in England, and she's a lovely person.
She's just a super fun, energetic, wonderful individual.
Yeah, and I said, come on the show. We're right about to at your part, and we're going to talk about it.
To which she said...
And she said, back off me. I've got mace.
I don't know your name, sir, but I will sign that headshot.
Yeah, so we're in a spotlight on Cindy. Richard's here. Later in the episode, producer Steve's going to be joining us. It's a big deal. This is a big episode.
Cavalcade of mediocrity with us hosting this thing and Steve coming in. Luckily, Cindy's here to elevate the entire experience.
That's right. We've got Cindy Sampson. Cindy played Lisa Braeden in 11 episodes of Supernatural across seasons 3, 5, and 6. She has numerous American and Canadian TV film credits. She booked her first role while still in high school on the Emmy Award-winning show Street Sense. Rich, P.S. sidebar, why haven't we ever written a show called Street Sense, spelled C-E-N-T-S? I mean, that's...
I don't know, but we could write one called Street Sense, spelled S-C-E-N-T-S, and about how streets smell.
That's right. Like the lead guy.
I guess Street Sense, which is spelled C-E-N-T-S, is about making very little money on the street.
I guess
I don't remember that show.
Yeah. But I like yours, where the guy is just, he's a detective.
Smells like Main Street to me, guys.
Smells like a drug addict. With the holiday season coming up, you can see her in TV movies Royally Yours This Christmas, The Christmas Break, and A Christmas Crush.
And you know what you and I never get to do? any movie with those titles.
Never, ever.
Unless it's like The Christmas Jerk or The Ass Who Ruined the Holidays. Oh, and then they don't put those movies on Hallmark anymore.
Or you might see me in Everybody Celebrates Christmas, or It's Your Neighbor's Christmas.
Or Who Invited That Jackhole? The Christmas Romp.
Well, she's well known for her starring roles in the Canadian TV series Private Eyes and The Shrine, and she's just a delightful person. So here is our interview with Cindy Sampson. So let's get started with the supernatural questions. Like I said, we've been wanting to get you on for your first episode. I was like, we just hung out earlier this year. We got to get her on.
Yeah, we did.
Where were you guys hanging out? So what country were you
We're
in?
in England.
England.
Yeah.
La-di-da.
And so what we've done is we've carved out a very special Cindy Sampson episode. That's what this is. This is all,
right.
It's all about you all day.
Oh, great. So,
Yeah.
no fear at all. Great. This is wonderful.
No, there's nothing. So my point is, like, if this doesn't go well, we got nothing to fall back on. Like, this is it. You know
I
what I
was
mean?
like, I hope I'm just one of 4 guests on this
Nope.
episode, because there's no way I'm filling this whole time.
Listen, I don't want to freak you out. I was going to freak out at the end, but it's not even called Supernatural Nothing. It's literally called the Cindy Sampson Spotlight episode. So, you know, we're putting a lot of eggs in your basket, kid.
That was a bad decision, gentlemen.
So let's start at the beginning. How did you get your start on Supernatural? I'm told you originally auditioned for the role of Bella that Lauren Cohan played. Is that true?
That I did. And I wasn't living in Los Angeles at the time either. I was living in Montreal, of all places.
Huh.
I auditioned for, I think they flew me down for a screen test. I flew to Los Angeles and screen tested for Bella Talbot, and then was so disappointed I didn't get it.
Wow.
I lived with my friend Marie in a condo in Montreal and was obsessed with Supernatural. I'm not even exaggerating.
Oh.
We watched every episode. We were like huge diehard fans, and I found out I had an audition. And then when I got flown down, I was like, oh, this is amazing. I'm going to marry Jared or Jensen. It's going to be so great.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, it was very, very exciting. And it was, I was crushed when I didn't get the part. And then they literally called me out of the blue. It's one of those things that reminds you, like, everything you do in life at the time, it can seem like a door has closed, but a window has opened. And it sure did, because I ended up doing like so many more episodes too. Lisa Braeden became like a few more episodes than Bella Talbot.
Yeah, sure.
It worked out in the end. It all worked out in the end. But that's how I got it. I didn't even know that Lisa Braeden existed until.
So when you got the call to do it, it was obviously they already knew your work. They already loved your work.
Was it
from
an
the
offer?
previous screen test. Right. So it was an offer. Is this one of those like offers you come in and go, yes, now what's the role? Like basically, or did you take a look at it first?
No. Wait, do people do that? Do people look at the roles?
Not this guy.
No, nobody reads the script.
I'm right. I don't know. I did a Lifetime movie 2 weeks ago, and I didn't read that script. I just said yes. I love to work. I
Me
really
too.
do.
Yeah.
Like, I love to work so much. I feel like you can find like the golden bits in any experience. I love working. And like, obviously, I would have been a one scene janitor in Supernatural if they offered it to me. And I would have paid to fly myself there. So yes, I said yes immediately.
And I love the fact that your end game was to marry Jensen, and then you get eventually cast to play his wife. So there you go.
What's funny is that Richard was originally a one-scene janitor on the show.
That's right.
And then it turned into
Exactly.
That's not even a
I know.
show.
I thought the same thing.
So so then you get offered to play this character, and you represent sort of the normal life for Dean, right? So that's a big deal. Like that's, you're not just a one scene janitor. You're like Dean's wife for like a couple seasons.
Yeah,
And it's a whole different style of filming. I was wondering, like, did you feel that?
I did.
Talk about that.
I can talk about that as like the actor that took on the role or as the viewer, because I feel like, the first few seasons of Supernatural were very like movies. They were like 1 hour movies. They were urban legends. They were really cool.
Right.
And then it kind of it changed up a bit for longevity. And I think the first episode I did was like 2007. It's, you know what? This is almost cruel doing a podcast about something I did that long ago, because I am getting old and you guys are old too. And how am I supposed to remember all this stuff from 2007?
I know.
Yeah,
And
it's crazy. I told Rob, don't do that to her, but Rob said no.
We've got notes.
I'm putting her in the thumb screws.
But the thing is, like, even filming, I felt that the show was changing a bit. Like, you could feel it. And then it was interesting. And I think that maybe as a viewer, we had it a tough go. I had a tough go. Not everyone loved the family storyline.
So how did you know? So we're talking about whatever.
It was 2007 when I started,
Okay.
and then they called me back. I think it might have been, I don't even know.
So how did you know what people thought? Was it through Twitter?
I guess back then it would have been very much through Twitter.
Is it Twitter or what was the other thing that was on around like in the early?
It wasn't
aughts?
MySpace still, was it?
No, but like Rob, what was when people would do like chat room? Was it chat rooms? Is that what like how people would express their opinion before?
We're this old now. We're like chat rooms. Yeah, definitely chat rooms. I think
Well,
it was,
Supernatural is this old. Like Supernatural
I
predates.
think it was Twitter. I think it was like the majority of it was Twitter. I got a lot of online hate, which obviously is somewhat entertaining. And back then it wasn't even like very personal. It was very character driven. So it was Lisa Braeden hate.
Yeah.
It wasn't Cindy Sampson hate. And I could differentiate between the two.
Right.
It was overwhelmingly great because I was part of something that, I've been an actor since I was 14 years old and I'm 46. Do the math, man. And it was like the first time I'd been on a show that really had this massive fan base behind it. So
Yeah.
it was fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's good of you. The time we spent together, there's a short amount of time I could tell you're a good person, you're a nice person. For me, when my character got bad at the end and people hated that because they didn't like, what my character became, that was hard. That was hard for me to sort of see the hate, but you just kind of rolled with it.
And I feel like we've evolved. The internet has evolved to a scary place. I feel like it wasn't quite as soul crushing back in the day.
Right.
Now so people write so much, like I look at these young girls that are in the spotlight or being bullied online. I'm like, that is heavy. Like, I don't think I could handle that now.
Right.
But back then I feel like it was very much Lisa Braeden. It wasn't personal. Like
Right.
there was there was a respectful separation somehow.
Yeah. And it was, obviously, it wasn't personal. And a lot of it's just because you were dating their main man.
Which understandable.
Yeah.
Understandable. Yeah. I mean, it's always tough to read things about yourself. I don't anymore.
Yeah.
I've learned my lesson because it is, we're all human and you can't, it's hard. It's tough to read things about you.
Yeah.
But about the character, like fire away.
Right. And then were you doing conventions from the beginning?
Not really, which is funny because, yeah, I didn't really do a lot of conventions, but at the same time, it's like Lisa Braeden was quite a large female character.
Yeah.
Also, one of the few that weren't killed.
Right.
Still alive. Never knew what happened to her.
So when did you start doing conventions?
I think the first convention I did was Rogue Events.
Yes.
And it was in London and Birmingham. I just remember drinking a lot of tequila. I was young. It was exciting.
Yeah. I still do.
Things are different now.
I'm old and there's still tequila.
Wait, you have a baby the same age as mine, no?
Yeah, now I do. Yeah.
How do you find the time to drink tequila when you have to get up at 6 a.m?
Well,
Oh, that's what mothers are for, right, Rob?
Oh, wow.
I mean, I read Rob's blog.
No. No. For me, honestly, it's at the conventions. It's when I'm away.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
It's only when
And
I'm
Cindy,
away.
how many kids do you have? Do you have?
I just have just one little girl.
No, awesome.
I think the first convention I did was 2010, and it was in England. I haven't done many conventions. I think I've been to like Florida and Nashville.
Well, I met you at a convention.
Yeah, that was.
Was it England or Rome?
No, that was England. It was England. That was the first one I went to. Yes, my friend Anna had a massive crush on you. We still have pictures. I should send you pictures from that convention. I have some.
Rich.
You should send me because anybody who has a massive crush on me, that's somebody I need to remember.
Yeah, she's not well.
Yeah, clearly.
Rich, you never told me about Anna. This is exciting.
The one
news.
girl.
I'm searching for Anna was not on the. She was your guest at the.
She was my guest. She came with me for moral support.
Rich has his Rolodex out. Anna.
And you never did Rome.
I never did Rome, but hold on. I've heard all about the Rome conventions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're legendary.
Because they're like, well, I don't know if I'd come back. I'd probably just go live there. They sound lovely.
Well,
They're
people would
there,
mistake you for being Italian, for sure. You have that look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gladly.
Yeah.
And I will go there and I will eat all of the food.
Right.
Yep. Agreed.
So we know that this is the call to writers, but did you ever play Lisa as if Ben was Dean's son? Is the biker story just a story Lisa made up to protect Dean and Ben is really his son?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
But that was my take on it. I always assumed.
Why would I subject my son to that lifestyle? I already know everything I need to know. And I don't really believe in coincidences. Do you?
Right. No. No.
Too much
Robbie,
of
do
a
you?
coincidence.
Well,
Yeah.
No, I don't. Not me. No.
Are you sure, buddy?
Now, we haven't gotten there yet, but does Ben come back after you're gone? Or
Never.
Wow.
Ben's probably like 35 at this point.
Yeah,
so I
exactly.
Are
don't
you
even
still
know.
in touch with that kid?
I don't. It's funny. Once you meet someone or you work with someone, I feel like you consistently run into them where it's like your future is predetermined. And I've never, ever been in anything with him ever again or spoken to him.
Oh, was he Canadian?
He was.
Yeah.
He lived in Vancouver and I believe he's still in the business. I'll look it up. I'll get back to you.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, you would think that two guys running a podcast would have done that kind of footwork, but nah.
Myself also. I was like, I'm really going to put in some research. I'm going to have some interesting anecdotes. And then I was like, I don't even know what they're going to ask me. How do you prepare for this?
That's true. You're winging it really well. So obviously, Rob and I are going episode by episode. So we are only in where we are, which is middle of season 6. But
Is that weird to do that again?
it is, but it's cool. Like we've never really done it. So
Never really
there's a
sat down
ton
and
of
watched the
episodes
show.
we haven't seen.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to kind of go through and peel apart.
I stopped,
Yeah.
sorry, not to cut you off. I never watched ever since I became a part of the cast because it didn't have the same feel. Like I couldn't fall into it. I couldn't believe it anymore. So there's a separation. I really should watch Supernatural also.
Yeah, well, so we have a podcast where you can go and watch it with us. But Cindy, Lisa is the only woman that Dean ever truly loves, right? In the whole arc of the show.
I think so. No, yeah.
And it's interesting to watch him try that outfit on, being a stay-at-home dad or being this sort of domesticated Dean. You know what I mean?
It didn't pull it off so well though. It didn't suit him, did it? Now,
It didn't. But it's interesting to even I noticed that they shot it uniquely.
Yeah,
they would do. It was very homey the way they would shoot those scenes.
Hallmarky. Yes, even kids running around, wearing the dress. We really tried.
It was lit different.
It was.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because you came into the show heavily under new leadership.
Yes.
Sarah Gamble running it and all that. As a viewer, since you were an avid viewer, could you tell a difference?
Yes.
When you're watching the show? And what did you perceive that to be?
I mean, I just feel like it's like a transition that a show needs to take. I don't think it could sustain, you want things to evolve and change. And I felt like it was just the evolution. And look how many seasons you guys ended up doing. Like that's nuts.
Yeah.
So things inevitably have to evolve and change and stories have to expand. So I just chalked it up to that, to be quite honest. I didn't think it was better or worse. It was just different.
Yeah. And Richard and I have that same kind of thing where our characters over time kind of changed, and you just had, the truth of the matter is you get the script and you're like, okay, this is what I'm doing now.
Cool, right? I mean, that's the thing about television. It's you have a living, breathing organism and it just goes all these places and you never really know what's going to happen, which is why I love series work.
And as guest stars, we don't really have a say. You just go, okay, this is okay.
Hey there, this is Richard Speight Jr., and I hope you're enjoying the episode, but we need to pull over for a few seconds for some messages.
For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/campaign to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Thanks for listening. Now, back to the episode.
Obviously, your character plays an anchor for Dean.
She is.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you think about it,
did you
she's
find
pretty
that?
incredible.
Did you like those characteristics of your character?
I absolutely did. And I also think that if Ben really is Dean's son, that I also applaud that even more. You know, I actually think that Supernatural has a pretty great amount of strong female characters in it. So I would say there's a lot of great role models in the entire show, and Lisa being one of them. Yeah, why not?
She is. I mean, I think, it's pretty incredible that, at one point she's like, you go be who you need to be.
Yeah.
And we're here. I mean, that's amazing. And then when he comes up and he comes in her house and he's all crazy and he kind of pushes Ben and she's like,
you got to go.
Yeah, you got to go.
I'm not doing this.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, what's not to like?
The question is, how did she ever afford that house being a yoga teacher? Did she own the studio? Like, I don't know.
I always assumed there was a money laundering operation and she's really a drug lord.
Totally. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, I was like,
but by the way, I think that about every TV show I've ever watched.
Me too. I'm like, this is so silly. It's the only silly thing.
I remember watching that show. Well, I'm thinking of it because of Sarah Gamble, but Sarah Gamble also wrote the great show You, that first season 1, when that main girl had like a New York flat that was bigger than my house. Like,
and you're like, I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
What?
I know.
And she's like a student.
Yeah. Yeah. We always said that when I was on Felicity, like their apartments in New York were just insane. Like they never would have been able to afford that.
I just got a flush from Felicity. I've loved that show.
Yeah.
Good grief.
That was a good show. It was a fun show.
Oh, so good.
So
you were okay too.
Thanks. So she, but she's a good person. Like she's actually like a decent human being and she's just normal. And I guess fans of the show just didn't like seeing their rough and tumble. They're Han Solo.
Absolutely.
You don't.
Yeah.
So Han Solo, you can't see him being a normal dad, and that's kind of what it is.
Absolutely not. No one would ever be good enough.
Right.
Han Solo parenting. He had a kid. His wife is gone. He's solo parenting Han Solo.
So how would you describe her relationship with Sam? Did she have much interaction with Sam?
I would say non-existent. I mean, I had, it's funny because I didn't really work with anybody else. Castiel, I worked with Misha.
Also, wasn't Sam soulless at this point?
Well, season 6 he is.
Yes, he was not around. Remember, he was gone when when Dean and Lisa were cohabitating. Sam was not in the picture.
Right.
And then I think I had maybe one scene. Maybe Lisa had one scene with Sam. So I would say that I don't know. I don't think there was any animosity there, but I think that I don't know.
Did you know Jared at all? Did you?
Not really. Because I was like pretty isolated in my scenes. Like it was all just Jensen.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I always felt like, I always got the sense, but again, I think this is because he was soulless. But I always thought Sam was kind of a jerk about the whole thing, a little bit.
I don't know, because I feel like
look, he never showed up and said, "Hey, I'm Sam. Here's a basket
I'm your brother-in-law.
of fruit." Yeah.
Yeah, you know what?
He's an uncle to the kid, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Dick move, really.
It's a dick move.
Yeah, but
if you're going to be mad at somebody.
I said it wasn't his kid, so maybe he didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I feel like Sam would want Dean to have a lovely life. It's just not in the cards for those boys.
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah, you'd think he would at least show up. You know what I mean? Be that
rude. Rude is what that was.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part about filming with Jensen? Would you have fun memory of, did you guys goof around on set? Was it?
You want to know something? I had, everyone always asks me people still come up to me and know, like Lisa Braeden, or take a picture. I swear, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
What it is, it really is. Like this stretch of the fandom of this show. Everyone always asks me what it was like to film with them. And I always say, and I was only there for a minute. I think it was 11 episodes, but it wasn't I was just there for a minute. They were exactly the same way in real life as they are on screen. They were hilarious and welcoming and funny.
Yeah.
And I feel like everyone played jokes on each other the whole time. There was just a really good atmosphere on the set. It was professional, but super fun. And also being Canadian and in the industry, I just remember thinking, man, these people have a lot of money. there was like so many cars that like baby. And there was just like tons of them lined up. And I was like, this is great. And the food was great. It just felt like a really great vacation working on that show.
Yeah, it was
That's
fun.
a great way to describe it.
Yeah, it's really true too. I mean,
which is nice. Like, it's nice to have those thoughts and to leave something behind and know that it was like just as fun for people to enjoy watching as it was behind the scenes. There was like a group of great people. And I feel like that you could really, and I was, again, an outsider just there for a second and very embraced and very welcomed and part of the joke all the time. Like it was just wonderful. I had a great time.
It's so awesome. That's such a great way to describe it, and it's true. It's why we all loved going back. You know, it was just fun to be a part of. And I don't say that about every show. You know,
no, myself either.
Yeah, no. So it's
I sure as shit don't.
Well, maybe I do. If they pay me to, I will. But like otherwise, no.
Yeah,
right. And
cough
but
it up, boys.
I
You want Cindy to say she liked your set. Cut that check. Do you have a like something that stands out from your time on the show on set, like behind the scenes, either funny or touching or anything that like that sticks with you from your experience on the show?
No.
Good. They try to wipe your brain clean like Men in Black.
And it works. They wiped.
Yeah.
Castiel wiped my memory. It works. There's nothing.
Misha, why are you touching my forehead? I don't know you.
You want to know something? Actually, to be quite honest, I think that maybe that was the first time I ever got to be like a bad guy. So when I turned, like, Lisa was so the girl next door. And when I found out I got to be possessed by a demon, I think that was probably so exciting for me because I got to showcase a little bit of the evil that exists inside of me.
That we always knew was there.
I knew
for
it.
the audience.
That's cool. So that's a good fun one to read. You're like, okay.
That was very fun. It was also, I feel like it was strange. I feel like other things I remember from the show was just because we were shooting in Vancouver, but you guys, I'm not sure if you guys experienced this, but when I was out there, I just feel like we were always shooting nights.
Yeah, it's a lot of nights,
they slowed that down as the series went on because it was killing the crew. But they did a lot of Saturdays,
and I just remember being like, it was 3 a.m. I'm like in the woods, and I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's funny. It's one of the only shows that like when they put my costume in the trailer. Every time there was this huge coat that I would be wearing. Well, you know what I mean? It was like, here's your costume.
And an umbrella.
And here's a coat.
An umbrella.
Yeah, an umbrella.
I think I was 11 episodes. So I was flown to Vancouver 11 separate times and never saw the sunshine once. And I'm not exaggerating. It rained every time I was out there.
Wow.
Man, I love Vancouver as a city so much. It's such a cool place.
It is. But yeah, no, that was the same. It's like watching the show, Cindy. It's so funny. Like there's so many scenes that you could tell it wasn't supposed to be raining, but it was.
Right. Yeah.
Like
it's funny that
a tender goodbye and the water's just like running off the actor's face.
Well, it's also because they pick these places in the United States. They're like, well, here we are in Palm Springs. You're like, no, you're not.
No, you're not, sir.
You are not in Palm Springs.
We actually haven't gotten the truth be told, we haven't gotten to the penultimate season 6 episode. When you go,
say that 5 times fast.
When you go,
really.
When you go into when you're a demon, did you have to put black contacts in, or did they?
I think they did that after the fact.
Okay.
Yeah, they did that in post.
Right, but you do have the black eyes.
I do.
Yeah, that's wild.
I just had to do the special blink, and then you get the black eyes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. That'd be cool to do.
They were so ahead of their time with their effects. They were so
good. They really were. It's kind of nuts how much they were.
Besides the demon episode, is there like a favorite like moment or like favorite episode you have, like moment you had with Dean that was special?
You know what? It's funny because this is going to sound weird, but the older I get, when we open the door and Dean's standing on Lisa's doorstep, and it's the very first moment you meet Lisa and Dean, that epitomizes like my life. I just feel like I moved to LA and I got a job in Supernatural, and it was like that excitement from that first moment. It just is like, it makes me excited to even think of it. I'm like, that was the beginning of like my career. I feel like,
yeah.
I really do. And so I think about that all the time because I'm like that opening of the door was like the moment opportunity arose in my and changed my path. And like my career just went up and up from there. Yeah. It was really great.
That's really cool. And it
was exciting.
You remember that moment too. It's a special moment. Yeah. And the end of season 5 too, that's when he comes back to you and Sam's, I think, outside and he's watching and You open the door up to Dean, and he goes in with you. Basically, at the end of season 5, it's like he's coming back to you.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Creepy, super creepy. What a weirdo.
Wouldn't say creepy, but for me it was.
Get a room.
For me it was nice. Well, he did get a room. He's going to her house, and that's
what I'm saying. As a viewer, I'm just suggesting, why don't you get a room?
Well, he doesn't need to go get a room because he's at her house. I'm just saying why go get a room and it's right there. So did you imagine Lisa or Ben became hunters?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your future thought on the whole thing?
Listen, I thought about all of that because I was like, how does this ever work? And then I assumed they would have killed us off, but they didn't. There's mercy erased my memory. I actually thought that, but I feel like everyone always asks about like, would Lisa would have let Ben become a hunter? It's in the family, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to be a hunter. That would have been cool. I always like doing stunts. I want to kick some demon butt, but, you know.
Yes. It's a podcast. You have to say booty. We don't want that city talk on here.
My apologies.
City talk.
Yeah. I know. I never got to do that. I mean, I never got to be like the badass. That would have been cool. But what did it kill them to put?
It's the bad booty.
Bad booty.
It's the bad booty.
Bad booty.
Watch your tone, please.
Bad booty. That's my street name. I would have been cool to have Lisa on a horse, ride in, save the day.
Sure. All this.
That was random. That was the most random thing you could have said.
Well, I was going to put me on a horse, but I thought it's your spotlight. I'll put you on the horse.
What show are you watching, Richard?
I don't know, man.
Yellowstone, apparently.
It's been a long couple of days.
No, I would have loved that, absolutely. But then, I mean, I don't know. I don't think Dean could have really, truly thought that Ben was his son. Or maybe he did. Maybe he did the same thing that Lisa did, just prevented them from living a terrible life full of demonic people and monsters. You know?
Yeah.
You got to wonder, I mean, like, nothing for nothing, but in the world of spinoffs, Dean has a biological son.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm just saying.
Right.
I mean, that's an interesting.
No, just saying, what about
Dean? Like Ben is Dean's biological son. In the world of spinoffs,
grown-up Ben.
That seems like an underused possibility.
And they're both still alive,
right?
And readily available to work,
right?
So maybe we should call somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, like,
Robbie,
what'd you say? Like 32-year-old Ben, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you, as you are right now, done.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm obviously.
Robbie, you're a Hollywood insider. Make it happen.
Rich and I are in it.
I like it. I like this. We can all fight together.
We're the hilarious neighbors. The will they, won't they neighbors.
Yeah.
Will they, won't they? But they probably have neighbors.
But no, we're the guys living on her couch.
Yes,
yeah.
You're right.
It's a big couch. It's a very big couch.
That's the will they, won't they? Will they, won't they leave the couch?
Now you're just talking about my life every day.
So you said when we started, what did you just work on? You just finished working on a new project.
Oh, it's not. It's called Sullivan's Crossing. I think it's on the CW down in your part of the world.
Oh, yes.
It's Robin Carr, same as Virgin River.
Okay.
Awesome.
Roma Roth.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Sullivan's Crossing. It's with Chad Michael Murray.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see if Sullivan ever crosses. I know he's in the middle of crossing when the show starts. Hey, Sullivan's crossing. Let's go see if he gets to the other side.
I feel like there's a joke in there with the chicken, but anyways.
If I said it, it's definitely a dying joke, so don't worry about it.
I have one more question. It's a very actor-y question, but did you ever imagine there were things in Lisa's backstory that maybe we never saw, or did you, because when we play a guest star, we have to fill in the blanks, right?
We do have to fill in the blanks. I mean, I didn't do that. No, I'm joking.
I keep meaning to fill in the blanks.
I keep meaning to. It's only been 15 years.
She's a yoga instructor. We know that much. You
know what? I feel like she was so good. I feel like we all have this like duality and like this balance. And there was such goodness. I feel like there had to have been this backstory of struggle a bit or something that led her there. And also like Dean, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, obviously you're into bad boys.
Right. So there's got to be some sort of issues there.
Yeah.
And she's a single mom.
Yeah.
And she's just changed her life around.
Yeah. 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 Well, I hope no matter where she is, she's doing well.
Yeah.
I think she's doing great somewhere. She's just waiting for our spinoff.
Yeah.
Exactly. Got that yoga teaching business, making $500,000 a year for that house, keep that mansion.
Yeah, but she's been doing a lot of martial arts also.
Oh,
just
yeah.
in
There you
case.
go. On horseback.
On horseback.
God willing.
Well, I just have to say that, like, you are a lovely person, and it's not easy playing a character that for some reason people didn't respond to because they didn't want to see their.
That's a polite way to say it. That was a really polite way to pull it off.
Nice
They
job, Robbie.
hated me.
That's very different than what you said during rehearsal. So you did.
Yeah, we didn't know this, but we have a rehearsal before. But
Do you really?
No,
Do you really?
No, we the opposite. We don't even see these questions
I'm
until
like, you rehearsed and this is what you ended up.
no,
man.
we don't even see the
Imagine.
questions until we're asking you. We're like reading these questions.
But just doing that, just going like, hey, I'm appearing on a show tonight. And then, 100 posts of cool and then one post of shocking you're working, you fat f***.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Honest to God, though, like, I don't know. Like, it's so funny. My outlook has changed so much since having a daughter. Like, I have a little girl, and I'm like, all of a sudden, everything you're like, oh my gosh, how do I protect this little human from all of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Rob is an interesting case, too, because Rob, there's such a huge age gap between your second and your third that what you know about social media, like by the time Margaret you're getting her off phone or not getting her phone, that decision will be based on everything you learned from Calvin and Audrey, just like my poor youngest son. And he's like, Dad, do you think I'll get a phone when Steve got a phone? I'm like, oh, hell no. You're not. He's like, dang it.
Yeah. No, I mean,
like you learn.
I was looking at, she's my baby is obsessed with like my keys. She just like put my keys in her mouth and stuff. So I was looking online for like fake keys for babies, baby keys. And they make them really well these days. They look like real keys. Anyway, but also you can get them a fake phone. And I was like, I don't know. Not even a fake one. I didn't want to
No, because you don't want them to associate that as just like normalcy.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's a shame that if anybody said anything to you was hurtful, I apologize because that sucks because you did a great job in the role.
Thanks.
And it had nothing to your performance was great.
Yeah.
Truly.
That was uncalled for, but I'll take it. Thank you, sir.
It's legit.
I appreciate it.
The debate about the characters, involvement with Dean, that's a great That's a great debate to have about a thing that's not real, a character.
Absolutely.
And a story arc. But your performance of the character was fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
Thank you. I didn't pack it in after that. I kept going. So here we are. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to think you didn't decide, well, that was it. I'm 24 and I'm good.
I guess I'm a demon now.
I'll be typecast.
I'm glad you guys find this fun. This has been like borderline excruciating, but thanks for
No, come on. You had fun.
I couldn't wait. I was so excited that every day I was a broken record. I'm like, when are we having Cindy on? I told her because
the biggest takeaway here is, aside from having you on and getting your take on everything, the real big takeaway is you got to share a picture of Anna. I got to remember who this person was.
No.
I will find it. It's on like my old Facebook that I probably have not logged into in a million years, and I will send it to you.
Go Rich.
Okay.
Really excited about
Yeah. Go Rich.
Thought you were
indeed.
the best.
Man.
Really.
Anna gets it.
Remember
Anna
we
and
watched
Rich.
the show. We watched every single episode. We were diehard fans. And for some unknown reason, you were her number one.
She just understood.
Wow.
I mean, she gets it. You know what I mean?
Hey,
She's
it's a niche thing. But
It might be Anna only. She might be in her own lane. But God bless her for being in that lane.
well, Cindy, thank you so much. This has been awesome.
Anytime, guys.
And we're going to let you know when this is coming out so you can share. And we'll have you back on to talk again.
You know what? Sounds good. And I'll see y'all somewhere.
Yeah, you will.
Hopefully at one of these cons soon.
Last time I saw Richard, we were in Nashville. And Rob, I saw you just this year.
Yeah.
When we were in England. So
yeah, do you have any domestic cons lined up at all? Or domestic being U.S.?
No.
Okay, well, let's change that. Let's get you down there and hang out.
Okay.
Because I barely saw you at the Nashville one. I think you came in for like Sunday.
Yeah, that's because you guys are all multi-talented and you're all playing in bands and singing songs, and I'm just there knitting. So it's a little bit.
But do you realize how dope that is? None of us knit. Like we've been looking for a knitter.
I don't knit. That was a lie.
I was gonna say we could do a whole knit.
You know
thing.
what? Cancel appearance for Cindy. Thank you for doing this. We'll have you again, and it's always a pleasure, my friend.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Cindy.
This is Mark Shepard, and you're listening to Supernatural Then and Now. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a little hell to raise.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
The holiday season officially starts when you get that first card in the mail. Shutterfly makes it easy to add more meaning to the everyday with hundreds of holiday card designs that can be personalized in seconds with your favorite photos from this year. Select your greeting, customize the color, and even add little extras like personalized foil to make a holiday card that really shines. Enjoy 40% off with code SMILE40 at Shutterfly.com and send something meaningful this year. See site for more details.
We're back. Thanks.
Well, was I wrong? Was I wrong?
No, you weren't wrong. And here's the question. Was I wrong? The answer is no, I wasn't wrong. We were both right. She's delightful.
Yeah, she's great.
So fun.
And I can't say enough that it's so challenging to play a role that people might have take issue with for whatever reason, and it's not the actor, it's the role. But she handles it with such grace and professionalisif
Oh my gosh. She's puts on a lesson on how to handle that kind of feedback. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think if there's a takeaway, it's that Lisa was actually a great character. She just, in the world of Supernatural, we needed to see Dean be out on the road and being the hunter and being the guy, because that's this show. And we couldn't see him married. But Lisa is very respectable.
And, she is pretty smart, patient, and level-headed.
Pretty smart, period. No capitalization, patient, level-headed. And Cindy does see Cindy as a role model.
She does. Cindy sees herself as a role model.
That's the other part of that question that was so great, was that surely Cindy sees Cindy as a role model.
Well, dude, that was a great interview, and she was super fun, and we absolutely must have her back.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what would be fun?
What?
One time, and I'm just thinking off the cuff here, is if we have sort of a greatest hits of guests.
Oh, yeah, that would be fun.
You know what I mean? Like a little panel of guests. Maybe they're all the women of the show, or they're all the villains of the show.
That'd be fun.
But in the meantime, Steve is here because we are going to use the rest of our time to discuss what we watched so far in season 6. That's right. Whoa, whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa, whoa, living on a prayer. Take my hand and we'll make it. I swear.
Hey, don't swear. This is a family show.
Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting.
And we got Steve Hine going live with us. Steve, how are you?
Yeah, so we got a live Steve Hine, everybody. Producer Steve Hine. Steve.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the show, Steve.
Glad to be here.
So,
what's your Supernatural story?
Yeah. How did you get started? No. So we've got 11 episodes that we've watched.
Wow.
Yeah, we're halfway. There's 22 episodes. And we're halfway through. We're publishing this Spotlight on Cindy after Appointment in Samara, which is 6/11. And if, by the way, jumping ahead, I was looking at season 7. There's 23 episodes in season 7.
Yeah, can't break it up at 11 anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, so we're gonna pick our favorite here, but it's gonna take some memory prodding from all of us to remember these episodes. We have the titles, but
that's right.
I'm gonna read the titles. You ready?
Yeah.
601, Exile on Main Street. 602, 2.5 Men. 603, Third Man. 604, Weekend at Bobby's.
Funny movie.
605, Live Free and Twy Hard.
Mm-hmm.
606, You Can't Handle the Truth. 607, Family Matters. 608, All Dogs Go to Heaven. 609, Clap Your Hands If You Believe. 610, Caged Heat. And 611, Appointment in Samara. Okay, what in the hell are these episodes about? Try to remember here.
All right, Exile on Main Street. Sam and the Campbells show up.
Yeah, it opens with Dean is living a happy life.
Right. That's the Cindy Sampson episode. Yeah,
right.
Sure.
So we're gonna go through these 11. We're gonna decide between the three of us what our favorite episodes.
Does not mean it'll be our favorite at the end of the year in the year long.
In fact, I can guarantee
we don't have to reach a consensus. Just like each. What's your personal?
No, we can all pick one.
Yeah,
I already know what my favorite episode of the season is, and we haven't watched it yet, and I haven't seen it yet, but I know it will be.
Well, 2.5 Men is the Shapeshifter Baby.
Yeah, funny episode, good comedy. I think it's
John Showalter's first one, right? Or no, second one.
Second one.
Third Man. Kid with the Staff of Moses.
What did they do with the
Staff of Moses?
Bob Singer directed it. It's Castiel's first episode this season.
Oh, yeah.
People are stealing heaven's weapons.
Oh, yeah. And Cassiel's like, it's the staff of Moses.
Is this the staff of Moses? Is this the one with
the guy had the locust crawling out on top of his head?
Is Balthazar in this?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. The staff of Moses. It's just a whole bunch of people that answer emails for Moses.
Weekend at Bobby's.
So Weekend at Bobby's. Bobby gets his soul back from Crowley. We liked that one. I'm going to put that up there as
what
one
happened
of my.
in that one?
It's a heavy Bobby Rufus episode. It's the introduction of.
It's like a spinoff for Bobby and Rufus.
Oh, where he swallows the ring?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Bobby's trying to engineer getting his soul back, and so he's like.
That Rufus Bobby stuff is great. Okay.
It's like it's a classic TV show.
Yeah, Jensen's directorial debut.
Oh, look at that. We're complimenting it, and we didn't even realize we were sucking up to the boss. Live free and twi hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the vampire episode. Dean becomes a vampire, pushes poor Ben against the wall.
Oh, that's the one where we have Joe Reitman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Great interview with Joe.
Yeah. Cool episodes. Kind of really stylized, and Dean, Sam's a big jerk and lets him get bitten.
You can't handle the truth. Truth God thought it was Gabriel's horn. What's Truth God mean?
The big bad.
That's that lady with they tie her up in the shower upstairs, right? The newscaster.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she's like a goddess.
Yeah. And
it's a newscaster, right?
Yeah. Well, that's her kind of human persona. The opening incident is people are killing themselves because they can't handle the truth, and
then Richard was whipping that dirty horn around, and
like that weird dentist who's like,
oh yeah,
the guy's in the chair. He's like, yeah, I banged your daughter on the sleeve. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's awful. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, that was really weird.
It was all because of Richard and Gabriel's horn,
as usual.
Me whipping my horn around, as you say. Family matters. I remember the scene with Rick Worthy sitting there being trapped as the alpha vamp.
Yeah, I mean, the vampire stuff was great. It's a lot of Campbell stuff, and I don't think any of us are fans of the Campbells at this point.
They're just a bit of a drag to have at a party. They're just a bunch of Debbie Downers.
If you are a fan of the Campbells and you want to start your own little group, does that make you a fanbull?
Or a Campbell's super fan?
Steve Hine, everybody. Steve, you're pretty smart.
That's why he's the writer. All dogs go to heaven.
You're pretty smart, patient, and level-headed.
All dogs go to heaven. That was Adam Glass was our guest.
Right.
Dogs and skinwalkers.
Great conversation with Adam.
Yeah, great conversation with Adam. And what was the episode?
The dogs were undercover in people's homes.
That was the dog. They realized the dog was doing he'd pop up and become a guy at these things.
Murdering.
Right. He was actually the creepo.
Yeah, kind of cool episode.
Yeah.
Clap your hands if you believe. That was Ben Edlund's episode about the fairies, which I didn't like as much when I saw it, but then after my interview with Ben, I suddenly liked it.
Well, it was one of those ones where it just was, we couldn't figure out if it was a funny episode or not.
Yeah.
We were just sort of trying to figure that out, kind of.
Because I think the season itself is finding its legs, and so are we as viewers, right? You're going, okay, and then you have elements where like, oh, there's our supernatural that we love, and you know what I mean? And they're just like, we're just not quite sure where we are, and when it's supposed to be funny, when it's supposed to be serious.
But, I think in some of the sidebar conversations we had, maybe in some of the direct conversations we had with the guests, I think they were, after such a tight season 5, it was like, hey, let's blow it up and see if we can kind of like find some gold and
find what we want it to be. Yeah. And so that's why there are some episodes that are awesome and some episodes that really miss the mark. But, for me, Fairies was one where I really had a drastically different idea of it after I talked to Ben.
Also, it reminded me of like, remember when we talked to Michael Lachey about the Ghost Boat episode? Like, we all hated the Ghost Boat episode, but then you talked to Michael about it. And you're like, that was great.
That was what an amazing episode. Yeah.
I know. We kind of went back.
Totally. That happens a lot, actually.
Caged Heat. That was Rachel Miner's back.
Yeah.
She attacks the Hounds of Hell.
Yeah. Meg comes back because she's worried about Crowley. She wants to
Monster Prison.
eliminate Crowley because she's a Lucifer loyal.
Right. And I like this one. I like this episode.
Yeah, I thought it was great. It reminded me of like a Peck and Paw movie.
Yeah, it was cool.
I thought it was really cool. And her with the dog, minus the bikini they made her wear, which I thought was gratuitous. But besides that, I thought it was a really cool episode. This one felt more like Supernatural again.
For sure.
And then Appointment in Samara.
Yeah, Lindsay McKeon was our guest.
Yep.
Death.
Julian Richings is in this one.
Dean takes the job of Death to try and get Sam's soul out of hell, which, even though he fails at the bet, Death is like, you learned a lesson, still kind of gets Sam's soul back.
Right. So we think everything's cool now. Sam's got his soul back and everything's okay?
Yeah. Cindy's kicked Dean out at this point.
Good. Smart. He's a menace.
I like that one too. So I'm going to put my top 3 are Appointment in Samara, Caged Heat, and Weekend at Bobby's.
You have to pick one.
Aren't we all picking one, or are we just each picking one?
Rob picked for all of us.
Okay, I'm going to say my favorite was Caged Heat, because I remember saying this is my favorite episode so far this
Right.
season. So that's what I'm going to go with. Caged Heat. With a Weekend at Bobby's with a close second.
I mean, I agree with your top three. Those are my top three for sure.
And what was Family Matters? They caught the vampire, but how did it lead up to that?
They catch Rick Worthy and they put him in that big cage. And that was really cool lit by Guyby.
But it's Campbell heavy, we decided, right?
Well, it is Campbell heavy, but I mean, you can that's okay. You can.
The thing that I keep going back to, the one that sticks out the most, which is sort of telling me that I should, point this one out, is Weekend at Bobby's.
Yeah.
I just remember that being with the Rufus Jim
it's
thing,
great.
just
It's great.
so engaging
Yeah.
and entertaining.
Yeah. What's the actor who plays Rufus again? What's his name?
Stephen Williams.
Yeah. And you could really feel like they had a crazy backstory.
Yeah.
It's one of those shows where you're not missing seeing number one and number two on the call sheet. These two dudes just take the show over.
Yeah.
You know?
And they're two veteran actors who are just killing it. And honestly,
Kim Rhodes, it's the introduction of her character and she kills it. And
Well, no, it's not her first.
not an introduction, but
that's right. That's right. It's her second episode.
She'd been on the podcast before, Steve, talking about her role on the show previous to this season. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Even though I did love Cage Heat, I remember not liking Appointment in Tomorrow as much as you guys. All Dogs Go to Heaven was kind of cool. Was cool.
yeah, remember you were in a mood.
Yeah, maybe.
Actually, for a lot of these, you were in a mood.
Maybe true. I feel like I should pick You Can't Handle the Truth just to support my own horn, but I guess I won't.
Way to blow your own horn.
Yeah.
Yeah, blow your own horn.
Boy, if I could do that, I wouldn't be on this podcast. So I'm going to go with...
I'm going to go with Caged Heat as my first, and then Weekend at Bobby's as a close second.
I'm not picking a second. I'm just going Weekend at Bobby's. I'm all in.
Well, all right.
Perfect.
Well,
It's
okay.
not the assignment.
Wow.
Well, the instructions say, what's your favorite? So I'm going to that.
We're doing extra credit.
So Steve and I say Caged Heat with Weekend at Bobby's is a close second. As Weekend at Bobby's is our minor, but we're majoring in Caged Heat.
Well, I'm going majoring and Weekend at Bobby's.
No,
and I'm
we
not
know.
doing a minor.
I know. We know. You're in a mood for all the rest of
I
them.
I might minor in horn blowing.
Even minoring in horn blowing since you're a minor.
No, I've been majoring in horn blowing. All right. Well, that was great. Look, we all agreed, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of agree. Hey, I was just looking down this list. What a great group of guests we've had so far.
Yeah, man.
And
Mitch Pileggi, John Showalter, Bob Singer, Kim Rhodes,
Joe Reitman,
Nicole and Eric, the writers, Guy B, Adam Glass, Ben Edlin, Rachel Miner, and Lindsay McKeon.
Yeah.
And Cindy Sampson, because I'm counting her in the list.
And Cindy Sampson, that's right. That's only going to continue. We've got lots of guests lined up for the second half of season 6, and we can't wait to go through it with you, our listener.
Yeah. So thank you so much for listening to this very, very special episode, this spotlight on Cindy Sampson. Here's a question for all y'all out there listening. What character, actor, or topic would you like to hear a spotlight episode on? If you have a thought, go to Patreon, join for free, and send us a note.
Plus, you'll see all the fun posts our paid members are getting, like the video version of this interview.
Yeah.
So it's always fun to see the video version of what you're listening to. Well, you can do that on the Patreon, otherwise known as Patreon. So go to patreon.com/SPN then and now for that. And in the meantime, we will see you at the next episode.
This episode of Supernatural Then and Now is hosted and executive produced by Richard Spade Jr. and Rob Benedict.
Produced by Stephen Hine, written by Stephen Hine and Ada
And
Holscher.
edited and associate produced by Trey Booty.
What's up, Booty?
Music provided by Tim Wynn.
This episode was recorded with the help of Sonic Fuel Studios.
This podcast is from Story Mill Media.
Follow the podcast on Instagram and TikTok at SPN Then and Now.
Become a member of the podcast to get early access, chat rooms with other podcast fans, and video interviews like the interview we just did with Cindy Sampson at patreon.com/SPN Then and Now.
Now you want me to...
I love this question. I'm just going to read as it's written because it's classic. Cindy is pretty, smart, patient, and level-headed. Does Cindy see her as a role model? I think he means Lisa. I mean, you also are all of those things. But
Does Cindy see herself?
Are you coming on to our guest?
I'll take
in
it.
typed form? No, he's saying that. It's so great to have you.
Yeah, he's such a nice person.
Ball
really.
of fun energy.
Stop.
And you know what?
You guys don't even know that. I'm actually not that nice of a person.
We've actually traveled with you, and we know that you're you're nice. And not only that, but to quote Steve Hine, Cindy is pretty, smart, patient, and level-headed. So we agree with all those things.
Was it pretty, comma, smart? Or
well, I hate to tell you this. He forgot the comma, so it says Cindy is pretty smart.
Period.
I think it should be pretty.
I've always wanted to be described as pretty smart.
Patient and level-headed. But, you know,
pretty smart.
Steve is a lot of things, but a grammar file is not one of them.
Story Mill Media.
You should listen to the GamesIndustry.biz microcast.
More people are playing games than ever before. They've never been more popular, and the business behind it is facing some real challenges and changes.
There's been tens of thousands of layoffs, hundreds of studio closures as major companies face rising costs and falling sales.
There's uncertainty around the future of game consoles.
There's legal and government intervention into how games are even being paid for.
The role of AI is changing how games are being made.
There's the impact of games like Fortnite and Roblox dominating everyone's time.
And then there's the desperate wait for Switch 2 and GTA 6, and that's just 2024.
Two leading business journalists with a combined 35 years of experience offer you a weekly guide through all of this and more.
I'm Christopher Dring, head of GamesIndustry.biz.
I'm James Batchelor, editor-in-chief of GamesIndustry.biz, and you can join us every Monday for the GamesIndustry.biz microcast.
The most important stories,
expert guests,
exclusive market data,
and all in less than 30 minutes.
Usually.
The GamesIndustry.biz microcast every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Enjoy the world and all its terrors? Interested to learn more about unexplained entities and dark legends from across the globe? Join myself and Dr. Sophie Yang as we share horrors, fears, and taboos from her home in Taiwan and discuss the similarities and differences between what scares souls in the East and West. Learn about what haunts the Taiwanese mountains, what comes for you in death, and much more. Check out That Scares Me Too, available now. That's 2, like boo.